another episode of Walking Digital Corridors. And what a half decent spring day it is for me here in Leighton Buzzard, Bedfordshire. I am your bearded sales guy, and I'm looking forward to the conversation this morning. When we were planning this week's call, we were reviewing the topics that we had on our list. And we realized that there was nothing quite hitting the mark. And so we've decided to discuss challenges that are in our way this week. And I'm sure you have in our audience some challenges. Maybe we'll touch on one or two of those in the discussion. But before we get going, would you lovely fellows like to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. I am Jordan Abbott, also known as the Sales Poet. And it is not such a lovely spring day here. The rain is dancing. I'm just looking out the window, and 1 minute it's falling left, next minute it's falling right. It's absolutely miserable out there.
Ooh, nasty. And tell us, where are you?
I am in Versailles, just outside of Paris.
Ooh, okay. So hopefully spring will actually. I recall doing a FaceTime with you quite recently, and there were blue skies. So.
Yeah, we keep getting teased by a glorious spring day. Smell of fresh cut glass, bulbs blooming, swiftly followed by a week of rain at the minute. So it's
yeah. Well, I would ask how the weather is where you are, Jensen, but you're about a mile away from me as the crow flies.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say it's probably like 0.8 of a mile, right? And I can see your house from the back of mine.
Yeah. Cool. So who are you, Jensen? Let's not assume everybody knows you.
So hi all, Jensen Abbott. I'm not really known as anything else, just Jensen. But I'm a BDR at content.ai, and it's a pleasure to join you guys again this week.
The bodybuilding BDR?
I mean, it works. But might scare a lot of people off.
Yeah. There's definitely, from your LinkedIn post, there's definitely something in relation to motivation there, I think.
The motivation man bit sounds very...
that sounds a bit corny.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
Yeah.
Personal brand development. Work in progress.
It's better than F1 live banter.
I don't know why you guys have a problem with that. Jordan, I don't know why you have a problem with that. Cool. Anyway, for those that don't know, on a Friday lunchtime, we do an F1 podcast with our good friend Augusto, who lives in Colombia, right?
Yeah, Medellin.
And we chat about all things F1. And I came up with a title called F1 Live Banter, and it doesn't sit well with Jordan. He hasn't learned to accept that yet. Maybe we'll change it.
Maybe one day.
You know what'll happen? We'll change it, and then you won't be able to get it out of your mind.
I know. We on that point, we need to invite Scott Kingsbury and also Jason Smith on too.
Yeah. Actually, in this week we have Mark Cowison, I believe, don't we?
Very nice. We do.
I'll check the invite, but yeah, good. Right. Without further ado, what's in your way this week? If there's one thing that is preventing you from working your best, doing your job, booking that meeting, closing that deal, whatever it is, what is it?
Fatigue.
Okay.
In all seriousness, this week I am very slow. So I had a vaccine booster thing over the weekend. I don't know if they do it in the UK, but when you reach 25 in France, you get a polio, diphtheria, and tetanus vaccine booster, and it completely knocked me for six. I was bed rest Saturday and Sunday, only just feeling human on Monday. So I think there's still something hanging around.
Yeah. How much of that was just the fact that you had a needle stuck into your body, though?
To be fair, I'll hold my hands up. I did nearly pass out. Not when they did the injection, but about 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
He's like needles away. I think I'm fine. And then he started ringing, pins and needles in my hand. I was like, "What's going on?" So,
Oh dear! It reminds me. You know, you can correct me if I get the story wrong, but didn't you go to have your ear pierced, and the person in front of you?
yeah, they were getting their tongue pierced.
Okay.
And had a full-on whitey.
Yeah.
I think that must have just scarred me.
Yeah. Didn't you have a whitey the same time?
Not when I got my ears pierced. Whenever I
No.
get a tattoo,
Yeah.
about 5-10 minutes in, the room starts spinning a little bit, and I need a coffee and a sugary treat. To be fair, that was the thing. Like I was still in the pharmacy when I got the vaccine, and everyone was coming over going, "So strange that you're not good with needles. You're covered in tattoos."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, so
Glutton for punishment.
yeah."
So fatigue, that's a pretty big one. That's not necessarily a hurdle you can jump or a roadblock you can simply remove. So what are you doing to recharge, re-energize? Because it's Thursday morning, you've still got 2 full days of the week left, and no doubt you've got a list of to-dos as long as your arm. So how are you thinking about the next 2 days?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So one of the things I did this morning was have a rest day from the gym and the ice bath.
Okay. Being kind to yourself.
Yeah, indeed. And then I think the other thing I did is just try and front load my days as much as possible, so that when when it reaches 2 o'clock and I'm inevitably having that sort of or real lull, I've already completed the biggest tasks that needed to be done. And then when I'm on calls, just sort of leaning into it a little bit and being transparent and just saying that I'm really low energy. I think there's something. So please excuse that.
Yeah. And how much I'm you kind of, as you explain that, I'm thinking, oh, would I do that? Maybe I would if I know the person, but if I don't know the person, I'd be inclined to put my game face on.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's just that wouldn't be authentic to how I'm feeling. If I could put my game face on, then I would.
Right. You're at that point, are you?
Yeah, I'm like really just drained this week. Looking forward to the weekend.
So the 4-day weekend wasn't long enough for you last weekend.
Well, I didn't have it. I was on bed rest for 3 days.
Oh, because of the injection.
I literally, like Saturday and Sunday, I hardly slept. I was shivering, then sweating, shivering. Like it was really rough. Like I joke about it, but I was not in a good way over the weekend. So I didn't really rest or recharge.
Yeah, we're laughing, but we do care.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, no, it's a good point. But I think additionally, the majority of people understand, because we can't be 100% all the time. And I mean, the majority of times when I get off the call, I feel sort of recharged because I was transparent. I wasn't having to put on a front. It was, I was still trying to be on the ball and having good conversations, But I did just give a little disclaimer that, I'm not feeling 100%. So, so apologies if I just start gazing off into the distance.
Yeah, and if you want to make me feel better, feel free to sign.
Yeah. I'll get the violins out.
Oh dear. And so, are you open? Are you this honest with your manager? Sort of your feeling, or are you managing this yourself?
I on the weekly kickoff, I did let them know that the weekend that I endured,
Yeah,
and that the energy is a little bit low. But as I said, I think it's all about trying to one, being transparent, and then managing. I'm not letting any of my activities slip. I'm still on top of it, but equally, the energy is very low this week.
yeah. I have to say I love the honesty about it. I love the fact that you've embraced that you are feeling fatigued, and you're not afraid to let your prospects know when, I imagine, well, not imagine, I know I do it. I constantly feel like I put my game face on in front of prospects because they need to feel some energy from me.
Yeah.
But as we talk, as I train others on personal brand development and encourage them to bring their true, authentic selves to the development of their personal brand, why not? Why not? When you're feeling a bit low, let people know. I love it. What do you think, Jensen?
Well, I was going to say you're a poet and you didn't even know it then. But no, do you know what? I'm actually a little bit kind of in the middle, on the fence. So
Right.
I completely understand where Jordan comes from, and give credit to my manager that I'm actually able to be so open and transparent in the fact that if I am feeling down, if I'm feeling rough, if I've been on calls all morning and I'm absolutely drained, and when you've been talking for a long while, your throat starts to go a bit dry. It's like when you're at an event and you're a bit like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit off. I'll kind of be honest there. But I think for someone that I'm meeting for the first time, if I haven't met them before, I do still try and put my game face on, bring that energy, excuse me, and not really put on it's more, I just want to put my game face on so they see who I really am, not the fact that I'm feeling a little bit kind of ill and down, right? So yeah, I'm kind of sat in the middle on the fence.
Yeah, we had on Sales TV this week, we had Dr. Dale Childs talking about the parallels between football and sales. And I couldn't help but kind of reminisce, if you like, of the times that I would spend on the touchline cheering you boys on over the years. And the importance of putting your game face on. As crap as you might feel on the morning, you're part of a bigger team. And actually, it's time to just pull your socks up and dig your heels in and do your best and see if you can channel some energy in the direction of winning and playing your role in the team. As well as actually, as you guys have developed, and we've sort of transitioned from dad to manager to hopefully mentor, you tell me. We've had many conversations about, the difficulties that you've had in and around sales, and how there are so many similarities to football in terms of having a strategy, having tactics, relying on those tactics, passing the ball, keep it moving, pass it forward. If you can, create those opportunities to score or to shoot towards goal and score, hopefully. So went off on a bit of a tangent there. Apologies for that. But yeah, I think there are definitely some some similarities, some parallels there, and I hear you, gents. I struggle with it. So I'll probably continue to put my game face on unless I know someone, and then I feel like I can just sit back and say, look, I'm having a really tough week. Hope you don't mind. Sometimes, and it's really quite liberating, they'll say, would you like to reschedule?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you do care. Or it's like, oh damn, I've missed that opportunity to pitch to them. How do you feel about that when if someone says that to you when if you told them that you're having a rough day?
A little bit mixed in all honesty, because I still, even though I'm feeling like the way that I would be, I've still turned up. So sometimes I feel like it's like, oh, I appreciate it, but not annoyed, but it's like I appreciate it, but look, I'm here. I'm still me. I'm still gonna give my 100% energy that I have. But then don't get me wrong, there's sometimes where if you are just feeling crappy, that it's nice that actually they've taken the time to say, hey, look, I understand. And I mean, if you look ill as well, I've had it before when someone said, oh, look, you do look kind of not ill, but look a little bit rough. Let's reschedule. And actually they took the time to find the next date and time for that call. So then it's actually kind of, oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess if we're bringing our true authentic selves to work, this example, this scenario we're talking about, then presents an opportunity to build rapport off of it.
Yeah.
Well, I was just about to say that a lot of the people that I've sort of given the disclaimer to, they've sort of said, yeah, do you know what? I mean, last quarter was a big push. Obviously, with the time, with the 4-day weekend, back-to-back short weeks, it's that they're feeling sort of the same. So
yeah. And what did you say? Well, come on, pull your socks up. You didn't have an injection.
Yeah. What's your excuse? No, but like seriously, I think it's just it's helped to lower that sort of barrier, because the calls that I'll be transparent, is that sort of first intro call, networking call. Obviously, if it was a platform walkthrough, a demo, or a progression call, then I'd probably manage my day slightly different and ensure that I'm conserving energy so that I can be fully on the ball on that call.
Yeah.
So I think it's trying to manage your day, and understanding how you're feeling, to ensure that you can turn up when needed to.
Yeah. How much of having a strategy and an opportunity forecast? We've talked about this on the show before, the opportunity forecast, but how much of having a strategy and clearly defined tactics with an opportunity forecast is actually driving you, or should I say motivating you to pull your socks up, but in a positive way rather than a negative way?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. The visibility and the clarity saves a lot of spent energy, or what would have been spent energy.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know what I need to do, and it's not a case of just reverting to autopilot and getting it done. It's quite the opposite. It's I don't have to do the taxing work of defining that strategy, defining my plan. I set my week up the back end of the week before, if possible. On a Friday, I'll spend some time just sort of carving time out, which gives me the clarity over the week. I can then sort of plot as needed, from there, really.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, Jensen, any closing remarks for us?
Oh,
Thoughts?
no. Do you know what? I normally have a little bit of a quote to end on, right? But I don't know. I mean, yeah, just to that last point, I think having that strategy just does help, right? When you're feeling a little bit tired, it's
Yeah.
almost like that lighthouse giving you that guiding light to navigate kind of the rough sea. But trying to use an analogy there, but not really working. But you get what I'm trying to say. That strategy does kind of help guide you, especially when you're feeling a little bit drained, tired. Kind of helps me keep focused in what I've actually got to do next. And it's also reminding yourself that even if you are feeling a little bit tired and drained, you don't have to run like 100 miles an hour. You can take it down a notch because you don't want to burn yourself out and make yourself feel worse.
Yeah. On that bombshell, I think we'll call it there. So until next week, I'll wish you a wonderful rest of week. And for those F1 fans, hopefully see you on F1 Live Banter on Friday at 1 o'clock BST, British Summertime. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. Sorry, we've had the long weekend. The next long weekend is the beginning of May. Take care all.